shoulder stretches that you can do. It's really awesome to do them after a run or on an everyday basis if possible. There's two different stretches that you can do that really help the mobility of the shoulder. So the first one you can do here, it's for the flexion of the shoulder. It always keeps the shoulder so it'll move up. So a good stretch after a run. Hey girl. Always bring the foot forward, and then you kind of want to bring it to the inside slightly. And you want to extend it all the way. And then get your horse to step forward on it. Perfect. And you want to do that probably 5 to 6 times. Let's do that again here. Good. And at first, if your horse doesn't want to do it, you can get someone to help you and make your horse step forward on that leg. And then also, I'll show you the extension stretch.
We have helpers today.
He's gonna lead Jelly Bean and oh my god.
Okay, Gracie, come here. Gracie, come here.
So this stretch is awesome to keep your horse extending back. Some horses can get really peg-leggy and they just don't have much extension. So their shoulder's actually stuck up when that happens. So just bring your horse's leg like this, and you want to try and extend the leg diagonally back towards that hind foot, and then you get that horse to step back as you're doing that. It's kind of it's a good stretch, and you really notice after a while, you'll notice how mobile your horse is. Some horses don't do this very good and they just need to do more of it, while other horses are very, very flexible. Oh girl. Hey girl. Yeah, and you do this say 5 to 7 times. Hey girl. Alright. As you can see, she does it very easily. They kind of catch on to the drill, and it's a pretty easy routine that you can do on a daily basis. Another thing you can do after a big weekend to go along with those two stretches, or is to put your hand into the side of their chest here. You can kind of feel this groove, and you just stick your hand in there and kind of push to the outside, and your fingers will actually feel the phrenic nerve, and by just putting pressure on it for like 30 seconds, you're going to relax that nerve. So the phrenic nerve really controls the stiffness and mobility in their shoulders, so it's just a good thing to do when you're doing your stretches. Just kind of hold this area, and even if you're like, I don't know if I'm in the right spot, it doesn't really matter. You're actually, you're gonna be relaxing it just by putting pressure there. So it's kind of like your hands like this, kind of pushing out. Yeah, so the combo of all these will keep your horse's shoulders very flexible and yeah, keep you running good all year. Stretch, it's great for your horse's hip and ilium to keep it extending properly. Lots of barrel horses get really peg-leggied in their hind end, and they just aren't driving with their hips and ilium. And you'll see like lots of horses kind of doing the bunny hop as they're running home sort of thing. And that's just, yeah, sometimes it's like their hips just aren't extending properly. So this is a great stretch to do after a run. You can get someone to help you hold the horse, or alright, so just walk up to the hind end there. Want to pick up their foot, and put your hand on their hoof. It's the safest way to do this. Then you always get control, and if the horse wants to try and kick, you have the control. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so I have to edit that.
Okay.
So yeah, put your hand, you kind of cup the foot, and you're gonna try and you're gonna want to push the horse over. So as the horse hops over, they're actually adjusting and really stretching their ilium and hip. So it actually makes them wanna, you'll actually feel, you can feel a horse that where it doesn't want to extend its hip. And if you hop them over a few times, you can feel the change right away. It's something you can play around with. So yeah, just, you want to do like 3 or 4 hops. Come on, girl. What's up, girl? And one more time. Perfect. Perfect. So a hip stretch for flexion to always make their hip want to move up. You can pick up their leg here. This is definitely something, a stretch that you'll want to do if you're stronger because it's a little more physical.
Easy, sis.
Anyway, you'll just want to really lift up their leg as high as you can. And you can kind of feel that their hip has to move up for that. Kind of hold it there.
Oh.
Just a great thing to do just after a big day, kind of get them to stretch their hip a bit. Also, when you're riding the horse, a lot of people kind of make them cross over, and that's a really good kind of keeping the hips mobile, just making them cross over. See, a lot of things you can disengage them, just make sure that their hind feet have to cross through, and that's also a good kind of keeping the hip mobile stretch. So if you have a horse and you notice that it looks like they're like fighting their head, or they kind of, you know that they probably have a pull issue going on, there's little things you can do as an owner to kind of help the situation. So I guess, for example, if you think your horse going to the left, if they're a little restricted, bending their poll, it's something like you'll notice kind of as you're riding them. A good thing you can do, which is kind of like a side, it's kind of a trickery technique, but if they have trouble, turning their head to the left, you can actually go on the right side and bring their neck over to the right and hold it. So you're actually going into like where their neck does go properly. And it's a little easier if you put them against a fence or in a corner, but we're just doing it out in the open here. So yeah, if you feel like your horse's poll is a little weird, you can try holding your horse's head, and you just hold their head for like 30 seconds, kind of in the wherever you think it might be restricted, or wherever they won't bend their neck the other way, you go to the opposite side and you hold their neck in that position. So we're gonna say Jelly Bean doesn't want to hold her head like this on the other side. So we're gonna just hold it.
She's not cooperating today.
Yeah.
That's right, I think we got the idea.
Yeah. So we just hold it for 30 seconds, and then you go to the other side and hold and try and bring it to that side. A lot of the times they can get better on their bad side just by taking them into their good side and holding them there. It's kind of a weird trickery, but by not really knowing even exactly what's going on, you can help your horse's flexibility. Done.